Good morning, chat.
Good morning.
It's I think it's just us, so it is what it is. Good morning, us. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Tired and it's snowy. I was up late watching stuff, but you know how it goes. The snow is nice. We needed that.
Snow
So
is
I'm
nice.
really glad. Yeah, really glad that we finally got some fucking weather. Is it still snowing for you out there?
I don't think so. If it is, it's not much, but yeah.
It's pretty much been going through the night, and we've got like the very, very light dusting happening, but there's probably like 2 to 3 inches out here.
That's about what we got. Maybe a little less than that, but
Nice. Yeah, so we got, let's see, a bunch of different news from around gaming, but it's kind of a slow news day. Slow news week. I didn't actually get into trying triangle strategy yet. I really want to, but I'm a little skeptical about how it's going to play because it looks like it's all mixed reality. So I think no matter how you play it, you're going to have to like stand up and walk around, and that seems not great. Like, why would I play that instead of playing triangle strategy on a flat screen, So that's kind of my thought there. I didn't get into, did I show you? I think I posted some gameplay in our Discord.
Yeah, I had seen the mixed reality thing for sure, and it looks like it was the size of their room, but it just makes me wonder if that's the only way to play it or not, or if there's one, can you like take the whole thing and like shrink it down and move it around, or is there not a mixed reality mode?
I do really want to try it, and I plan to. My understanding is that it's like the spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Tactics. It's not actually related to Octopath, which I think that's cool. But Tactics was a really fucking hard game, and I've heard that triangle strategy is very challenging. So we'll see how it goes.
Did you see that they made a Metal Slug Tactics game that came out today?
Oh, really?
That seemed like something that I thought you might be interested in. So
yeah, I love Metal Slug.
Yeah, it released this morning, I'm pretty sure.
Well, we'll watch this trailer real quick. We'll see how she goes.
Put it up on the screen if you want.
Yeah, why not? We'll show someone else's stuff.
Okay. Sick.
And then I'll turn up my volume and mute my mic so I can watch this.
I'm just getting my...
Ah, you're good, dude.
Thing up here.
No worries.
Okay, I'm just going to do the official launch trailer. Grab the audio.
Oh, might want to mute music.
Okay.
Just briefly while we do it.
Make sure that's the right audio. Yep, cool. Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's up, Rio? Yeah, we're just checking this out right now. This looks pretty interesting. I don't know how much I'm going to be into it. Do you know what platforms it was on, Tony? Switch.
I know it's on Switch. I'm not positive about other ones.
According to the IGN thing that I'm looking at, PC, Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox, etc. So it's on all the things. This looks more like Final Fantasy Tactics to me. If there was like an overworld with different, oh, there kind of is. Yeah, Fire Emblem has more of like an ogre tactics thing to it than this appears to have. This is kind of like an Advance Wars, but with Metal Slug. Yeah, I might be into this. I really like XCOM. Into the Breach.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, I bet Vince will like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm into that. I definitely want to check that out. And the reason why we were talking about it, Rio, is because we were also talking about Triangle Strategy came out on Meta last week, and I haven't tried it yet. But I was a little hesitant because it appears to be full mixed reality, which kind of like in my mind defeats the purpose of tactics games. Like they're very cerebral. I don't want to be standing up and walking around while I'm playing one, but maybe I'll like that. And it seems like when you're playing Triangle Strategy, you have to set up like your game board in a physical space. So like it appears as though it would just kind of overlay on like a table, and then you have to play around your table in mixed reality. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I saw in, screenshots, social media, people showing like what it looks like. So we'll see.
Okay,
I do still want to check it out.
I just pulled up a review here, and it says that you can use your hands to move and rotate the 3D environment freely in space. Unfortunately, zooming or tilting is not supported. But if you activate MetaQuest's lying down mode, you can calibrate the 3D environment along a vertical axis and play Triangle Strategy while lying on your couch or bed, which is great. Aside from that, it hardly benefits from VR and mixed reality, and by and large, the game remains stuck in the 2D medium from which it originated. So yeah, it seems like it doesn't have like all of the nice quality of life things that you would expect for something like that.
Yeah, it seems like it's just a direct port. I mean, it's probably worth trying anyway, just to see how cool it is, because I could see that being novel. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it benefits much from being in VR. Or mixed reality, even. Oh, slap my mic. Sorry about that, chat. Yeah, interesting. Rio, we got snow, so that's awesome. It's basically been snowing like through the night. Still snowing now. Just a light dusting, but it's nice. We needed snow. Weather's been way too warm. Let's see. So, other news, and I guess this is somewhat near and dear to me. Warcraft 2 Remastered is apparently leaked. I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. It looks like it's just a rumor. Looks like it was leaked by Wowhead.
Explain why that's exciting, because I have not really played those OG games.
So I played Warcraft since Orcs vs. Humans. So like the very first game, one of the first online games I ever played was Warcraft 2. I think Reign of Chaos is what it was called. No, that's 3. Fuck. It's like Tides of something. I don't remember. Tides of Darkness. That's it. Yeah, Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness. I played that, like serial modem connection to like my buddy over at his house. So it'll be cool to see what it's like. The Warcraft 3 remaster was a little weird, so hopefully this one's done better, but I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess, and I feel like it's probably going to end up more like a cash grab. That's what Blizzard did with 3 remastered.
I like Diablo 2 remaster a lot. I feel like that's the only one they did okay on.
Yeah, totally. I will say that it feels a bit nostalgia baity, but I mean that's the way it goes, right? Online celebration across all the Warcraft stuff on the 13th. So we're expecting that it might be announced on the 13th.
November historically has just always been a really huge month for gaming, because if you look at some of the stuff that's celebrated this month and stuff, looking out ahead, I think we're coming up on something like the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2. I think it's also Halo 2 on like November 9th. N7 Day for Mass Effect is on the 7th. And then yeah, like the Warcraft stuff is just like, if you look back in like the heyday of gaming in like the early 2000s, and like even before that, for whatever reason, they're aiming for November for holiday, I imagine, but that's always where the big drops were going to be. And so there tends to be a lot of like celebrations and anniversaries and stuff this month.
That's why I think Bungie's, I can't remember what Bungie's release date was, but it was always at a different time. And they were like one of the first studios to be like, we're not going to do holiday, to like, have to compete with all these other big studios with big titles. So yeah, they chose a different time. I want to say it was in fall or summer. I can't remember exactly when it is, but yeah, there's like a release window that Bungie just kind of owns. That's why you'd always see Destiny releases not be holiday, but before it. Yeah, I guess the Warcraft thing is the 30th anniversary of the Warcraft IP. So that's how long I've been playing that shit.
I remember doing some, thing on Twitter that was like shared 4 games from must have been like the year you were 14, because it's 2004. But I just remember looking at 2004 and being like, what a banger year, because it was Half-Life 2, Halo 2, World of Warcraft, Doom 3, Modern Warfare 1 potentially, something like that. No, that would be a little later. But it just, 2004 November was like the best day ever for being a kid who likes games.
Yeah, exactly. I was at the point where I was like, gaming wasn't mainstream, and so I was a little too old for it, and people were like, the fuck are you doing playing so many video games, but yeah, it was good times. What's up?
Jokes on them.
Yeah, exactly right. Another story is that there's more IP revivals from Sega. I don't know that I necessarily care about that. Jet Set Radio could be cool. I know people really love that. It was never a game that I was super into, but I know that it has a massive devoted following for that IP. Let's see. The Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible. I don't know anything about the Switch 2. Do you know anything about that?
I don't think anybody does. But yeah. Supposedly it's anytime now. It's kind of like becoming comical how everybody's like, they're going to announce it today, and then they never do it. But yeah, anytime.
You think we're going to see anything really crazy, like with how the Switch, or do you think this is just going to be like a beefed up Switch? Because like when the Switch came out, the Joy-Cons were like super wild, and like the dock was crazy.
And Nintendo, if you look back, has never not done something like that ever. I can't think of a single example. So it will have to have something. I don't know what it would be. A lot of people have speculated for years that they're going to go into some sort of like VR or AR mixed reality type thing. It seems a little advanced for them, but who knows? People balked at the Wii and the Wii U and the Switch to some extent, and yeah, we'll see.
So looks like people are speculating that the announce will be this year and the launch will be like spring, because they're not trying to compete with a bunch of other stuff that aren't hardware titles but like software launches. Like GTA,
a holiday thing, we'd know about it by now. So
yeah. But yeah, they're saying like GTA 6, like, they don't want to compete with like that, because that's going to be massive news and people are only going to be talking about that for a while. Let's see. I don't know if you've seen any of the gameplay. I know we talked about it a little bit for Halo Infinite in third-person mode, but that's really weird to me. But I guess people are saying they really like it. I see a lot of like positivity on social media about third-person Halo.
That's so strange. So it just plays like Fortnite or something.
It looks really fucking weird. Yeah, it's like Fortnite Halo, or like. No, that's not fair. I think the
Halo
best way
was the thing where like if you had the you pick up the miniguns or something.
Exactly.
Like, you go into third person, but that was the only time. Yeah, I can't imagine shooting a battle rifle in third person. That's so strange.
It looks weird because Chief doesn't like he doesn't shoulder his weapons. They're all hip fire because of his HUD or like, you know, low ready. It's very strange. So he's like shooting everything low ready.
But doesn't he shoulder his rifle in first person though?
Nope.
No? Okay.
No, it integrates with his combat visor because you can't lean with Mjolnir armor and like put it up to a cheek weld or anything because you've got a helmet and like you have this huge, you know, chest rig and shoulder armor and shit like that.
That's crazy. So then, like in third person, can you still use the scopes on like the battle rifle and stuff?
I think so, and I think
first person. Then that's so.
It looks like it does it. Well, it doesn't go first person. It gives you like a weird little zoom in, so you like get closer to the Chief's shoulder.
Weird.
It's funky, and I think that's when he like animates to like kind of shoulder a little bit, but otherwise it's like hip firing. It looks very strange, but people fucking love it, and they're all about it.
Hey, I mean, what an easy, you know, quote unquote, easy change to make to your game to like put it into the news cycle and revitalize it a little bit. Like, I can't believe we're still talking about Halo Infinite. I never would have guessed that. So, good on them.
Yeah, I honestly can't believe that they scuttled the Battle Royale.
I can't either. That seemed like a win dunk. Seemed like a really easy win.
I mean, like that's. Oh man! Oh, it even says that in this article. Certain Affinity was working on what could have been a game-changing battle royale. Yeah, totally. I really think that I don't understand these choices that these people make. Like, why say no? Don't do it. Like, that's the thing I don't get. Like,
especially if it's like they had talked about it for so long. I had to imagine it was pretty far along. You know.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if a part of the proposal included like, you got to change UI modes and, you know, we don't know if it's third person or not. And maybe that's why the third person mode came out. Actually, that kind of makes sense to me. I bet you the third person mode was a part of the BR, Battle Royale, not the Battle Rifle. Yep. And that was the thing they chose to keep. And that the other stuff probably required more dev time. And they were like, we don't want to spend any more money on this. And so that would be my guess is how it went down. That's usually how that shit goes. At least in the big studios. It looks like they also did like a legacy Halo 2 style playlist with the MA5K Avenger, which I don't know what that is. It appears to be the Halo 2 SMG. So they were trying to like bring that back. And then they also made a playlist that feels like Halo 2 with like midship and whatnot. It's weird. Halo's going in a very strange direction. I hope it's good for Halo, but it also might be time to like wave goodbye to the Chief and say like, it was good, and now it's getting long in the tooth and becoming very strange and turning into something that it never was before and not the thing that people even liked in the first place. So that's kind of where I feel like the Halo IP is headed, to be honest.
Well, but they have also said with this move to UE5 that they have multiple titles in the works right now. So we'll see what happens.
I always wonder what they're going to make. I feel like they might make some really weird shit. And, you know,
part of me wonders is like, how does it not just manifest as like Infinite again, kind of to some extent, but just in Unreal? And yeah, I don't know.
They might make like a narrative driven game or something like that. I don't know. Halo Wars would be really cool rambling. Sure. I think I will say one of the things that gives me a little bit of a pause is that Halo Wars was developed by Ensemble, the Microsoft studio that made Age of Empires, and that's why it was so good. But it wasn't well received. It was a fantastic game. No one wanted to play it, but I played a shitload of it. It was really fun. So yeah, I guess I'm skeptical. Like, a multi-platform, meaning like also on console RTS, has always been kind of a hard sell. There could be a bigger palette for it now. I feel like RTS is in a very strange place overall, especially for newer generations. Like, I don't ever see the kids playing RTS. They're not like interested in RTS. So
I can't think of like a new RTS that has come out that isn't like an X4 or something in a long time. I know they remastered Age of Mythology recently, which is a very good RTS. But
oh shit, they did?
Yeah, that's maybe it's not out yet. No, I think it is out. And,
is that on Steam?
I think so.
I'm looking. I really liked Age of Mythology.
That
was fucking fantastic.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Age of Mythology Retold. I imagine it's also on Game Pass because I'm pretty sure that's owned by Microsoft.
Age of Mythology Retold. 2024. Okay, so it's already out. July. Perfect. Anna, perfect. Okay. I'm really glad you're here because, hey, what's up, Fluffle? Anna, I wanted to talk to you about Dragon Age. Also cool if you don't want to talk about it, but I want your take on it. I want to know what you think because we know you like it, and it's really hard to understand with all the noise out there. There's a lot of opinions in every direction about Dragon Age. Positive, negative, all kinds of shit. So if you want to take some time to, write up like your thoughts or anything, that'd be really cool. I'd love to just hear what you have to say. And I'm happy to keep going with everyone else in chat and talking about it. So Age of Mythology Retold is what we're looking at right now. This is pretty dope. I think my biggest issue with RTS is I don't like that I always have to play it at a desk. My favorite thing to do when gaming now is, Tony, your cam just disappeared. Are you still there, bro?
Yeah. I see it on the...
You're good on stream, but you like exploded from our thing. You're back now? Okay. All right.
Yeah, seems okay.
Sorry, chat. Sorry, chat. Technical difficulties that only we could see, and it didn't come out to you guys, so that's great. Yeah, so like RTS is really hard to play. Heart rate went up to 120. Yeah, it's hard to play. Yeah, of course, Anna. If that's easier for you, go for it, and I'll try to like read what you've written in Discord and like so that we can include chat in the conversation. So RTS is a genre that I really, really like. I played a ton of RTS as a kid. I talked a little bit about the Warcraft 2 remaster rumor, which sounds interesting to me. My biggest hesitation is that Warcraft 3 remaster was basically just a cash grab. It wasn't super well done remaster. So that being said, RTS requires like sitting at your desk playing a game for like an hour. It's like playing a couple matches of League of Legends, right? Like you're locked in for a while. And so I would just like to be able to play RTS in a more chill way. And I think that's what I liked about Halo Wars so much. Really good controls, nice game length. They were usually like 15 to 30 minutes per scenario, even in campaign where you had like some really big scenarios with multiple objectives. I want to say the longest those went was like 40 minutes or something like that. So that was cool. It'd be really neat to see RTS kind of make a resurgence, or just somebody do something innovative and interesting in the RTS space. I feel like the last studios to do that were the guys that made Supreme Commander. I was a really big fan of Total Annihilation, made by Cave Dog. I think it's like Frozen Yak or something was what they called their new studio. Anyway, Supreme Commander is a really, really good game. Spiritual successor to Total Annihilation. It was the first RTS and maybe one of the only RTSs to be built to accommodate multiple screens, because you could have a tactical overlay on another screen that was basically like your mini map that let you watch the entire battle. So it made it easier to switch between different views and, keep a better handle on what was going on. You could have like 500 to 1,000 units or something like that, which was a massive amount back then. I want to say unit cap in StarCraft was like under 200. So the scale was fundamentally different. And that was something that I thought was super compelling in RTS. The other side of RTS that is interesting that could happen is like Myth or Mech Commander. So something where you get a loadout for a scenario and you're not building units constantly. Like I think the base management part of RTS probably needs a bit of a retool or redesign. Like do that. I think that is probably around as an artifact of just PC gamers were into kind of that like traditional board game 4X style. 4X meaning expand, exterminate. I don't remember what all the X's are for, but it's like civilization is considered a 4X. But yeah, it doesn't mean foreign exchange or foreign currency, you know, all that. That's not what it is. So I think that the idea behind building your base and having all these different structures and managing resources and economy and all that is a holdover from just that was what older PC gamers like to do. And so that's why they continue to do that thing, more rooted in board games. So what would be a really interesting reimagining of RTS in that vein? I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much, but I think that there's room. Homeworld was a really cool way to kind of do that. Instead of building a base, you had your mothership, and your mothership was basically all of your resources there happened out of the one base that you can move around the entire map. It was in 3D space, which was really cool. So you had full verticality to make use of tactically. The UI was a little difficult to work with, and the AI kind of always turned everything into a flat plane of combat anyway. So you didn't really get a lot of really interesting, like, you know, diving in on something from above or below. Let's see. I think that's probably it. Tony, do you know anything about Age of Mythology Retold?
I watched. I'm trying to think what. I think I watched like a Spiffing Brit video or something where he was just playing it as like a, you know, paid video thing when it came out, and it looked like Age of Mythology as I remember it with better graphics. I don't think I ever owned Age of Mythology if I think back, but I used to go to this cyber cafe called Maximum Gamer, and they had it installed on every computer, and me and my friends would go and, you know, play skirmishes against each other and stuff. And that was one of the games I played there, probably more than a lot of others. So I have really fond memories of it.
Nice. That's awesome. Oh, we got a nice big response from Anna. Anna, you were totally cool to write in Discord. If you wanted to keep it in here, that's totally fine. I was gonna like pick and choose some of the things you were talking about. If you didn't want it to be out there on Twitch, that's totally cool. Okay, to start, I played Dragon Age for the last 15 years. Veteran in the community, watched a lot of crazy stuff going down. You're loving the game. First gameplay, storyteller. Okay, so you go through narrative first, and then you set up for difficulty. Graphics are very, very good. Visuals are great. Physics is awesome. Okay, awesome. So you just spent a lot of time like enjoying the visuals. For what it's worth, I haven't seen any criticism of the visual quality of the game. So that's really cool. That's good to know that visuals are still holding up. I'll wait for your next chunk of response. Character creation is the best from BioWare. Okay, so it's like the best that they've ever done.
I have seen some wild stuff that people have made with the character creator on like Twitter and stuff.
So have I.
It seems very, very full featured.
Yeah, I've seen obviously the classic gamer thing of making like the ugliest character possible.
Well, I saw Nigel Thornberry. I saw this article that was like Twitch streamer spends 8 hours making their Dragon Age character a total smoke show. Just like a bunch of stuff like that. But apparently it is like, yeah, one of the most in-depth character creators that's ever been put out.
I feel like that matters a lot for a game like this. That's like very story driven, where the player character, like Mass Effect, I think is a really good example. Like Shepard is supposed to be you. And I always found that was one of the really cool things. I know, Tony, you and a couple of our other friends you guys didn't attach to Mass Effect in the way that like I did and some other gamers did.
But it's still important in games. You know, it's like the same in Cyberpunk. Like you're supposed to be V, and it's just kind of like a generic slate for whoever you want to be in Cyberpunk. And yeah,
I think what's interesting about Mass Effect is, in talking to my friends that did play, the wild amount of variation in everyone's Shepherd. Because you think of it as, you know, when you tailor this experience to the individual and you build a character that looks like you and you make choices that are choices you would make, everyone's Mass Effect story is very different, but the main beats are all the same. So like the same basic events occur, but the way the story unfolds with each of the different characters is there's a tremendous amount of variety in that. In at least the anecdotes that I've heard from friends, our playthroughs were very, very different. Okay, so Anna's got some more stuff. Combat is really good. Changing from melee to ranged is pretty awesome. The mage can also change styles. That's cool. Oh, there's no tactical combat at all. Yeah, I remember the tactical combat. That was pretty much the only way I played Dragon Age when I did play it. And I think I played Inquisition and Origins. I think I played Origins a lot more than Inquisition. Inquisition was 2, right? Yeah, I've seen a lot of negativity around the combat. I've seen a lot of impressions from first-time Dragon Age players being sort of confused about why people even like the game, which I thought was really interesting. It seems like it's not the same as it was back in the day with like Inquisition. I thought Inquisition was very interesting and there was nothing else like it. But there's probably, you know, there's a lot of games that are very similar now. They paved the way, and you know, maybe they're making stuff for dedicated players like you, which is awesome. So that's really good to hear. But that's, you know, that's the balance between drawing in new players and staying faithful to the old thing. So the change to combat was probably an attempt to draw in new players, because I will say that the real-time and tactical combat mix in the previous Dragon Age titles was very strange, especially in Inquisition. The tactical combat was way better in my opinion. It made more sense. A lot of negativity about how it starts. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dragon Age is always a slow burn. There's so much world building that they have to do, and they have to like get you bought into all the characters and the setting and all of that. You know, in every game, it just works that way. And to be fair, I would say the exact same thing about Baldur's Gate and Divinity 2. I understand why those games are beloved, but they're way too fucking slow for me. Divinity 2, I got to like Act 3 or something like that, and then I just fell off of it. I didn't enjoy how every character in my party basically just became everything. They had all the skills for everything, and there were like some choices that just broke the combat mechanics entirely. I know that that's fun to some players, but it becomes, did you choose the right things because they're objectively correct decisions to make with your character and how you built it out? Or did you go for like some RP fun, which means you're making the game much harder for yourself and the difficulty doesn't balance around that? It expects all players to be completely broken in every way. The party went down from 4 people to 3. Yeah, honestly, that's kind of not great. I would see that being a negative point. Like, having a much bigger party was interesting in Dragon Age because you had all these relationships you had to manage with your people. Yeah, I can't deal with hours of narrative anymore either, unless the story is really good. And I think the best way to do that is, instead of telling me how to feel, you just tell me what things are occurring, and then I have an emotional reaction to that. So what I mean is, and I've talked about it before, but the quest I did in Destiny 2 for the pilgrimage to the grave of Saint 14, those were the main things I wanted to happen. And in reading what people, said in the community about it and talking to people at events, everyone sort of had a different feeling about that mission and how it went down and what they thought was going to happen and what they thought did happen. And I think that's far more important, especially in a video game, to give the player a little bit of that personal connection instead of telling them this is the story and you're just like watching a movie, I think maybe that's what you're trying to say, like rambling, or I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but I definitely feel that way. Like Wolf Among Us, I couldn't really play or just get into, because there's not much gameplay, or the fucking Walking Dead games. Like, I recognize that they're really good. I absolutely understand that they're really good. I just get bored. I need some depth. I need challenge. I need to use my brain. I need to be able to play around with stuff. I think that's one of the things I've been liking so much about Octopath is there are so many different combinations of things to do that I find myself like optimizing different comps and like thinking about who I want in the squad, what jobs they take, what equipment they even have based on that, which secondary or support skills that they get, because you completely change like your second job and your support skills and your gear based on what you're trying to do, and the team comp really matters. That's the stuff that I really care about, like those deeper systems. And then if there's a really good story on top of that, I'm fully in. But I need all that other stuff first. I can't just play a game based purely on story. Let's see. Game is very BioWare. Love the characters. Love the NPCs. The writing is good with BioWare. Okay, cool. So Anna's saying that this is all hitting the mark for her, so that's great. I feel that the relationship between companions are much more developed and complex than the earlier games. Okay, so that's cool. So there's a lot more interesting stuff to do as far as it goes with like developing the secondary narratives with your companions. Very cool. Octopath and Octopath are phenomenal game design, personal preference and all that, of course. Yeah, I totally agree. I haven't played 2 yet, Fluffle, but I was really looking for like a classic JRPG, 16-bit pixel art style. And for whatever reason, I just hadn't played Octopath until a couple weeks ago. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to buy this and see how it goes. And I have been loving it. It's so fucking good. And I'm playing like on my laptop in bed, with a gamepad. So it very much feels to me like a Saturday morning when I was in the 90s and, I was watching like cartoons and eating cereal and playing video games. Like that's the vibe I wanted. And it was perfect. So I'm really, really enjoying it. BioWare games are story driven and Veilguard isn't different. Helps a lot when you know the lore behind or played previous games. Romance is a big part of the game. Yes, it is. Definitely. So far, it's the best from BioWare. Okay, that's really cool. All right, so Anna's loving Veilguard. Nice. I'm very down for the second one. I'm working on. I'm doing all the second chapters for the character. So one of the things I was realizing is you could probably make a squad and just go like do each of those characters' stories and kind of ignore the other ones. But you don't need to answer. This is my thinking. And I'm going like one chapter at a time. So I'm doing like chapter 1, chapter 2, and then chapter 3, right? Like, I think I might want to be a little more specialized in the second game, but I don't know. So those are just my thoughts in Octopath. The other thing we talked about before you guys showed up a little bit was triangle strategy, and I really want to try that. I didn't get into Monster Hunter Wild. Did you have a chance to check that out, Ramblin'? But so triangle strategy, I really want to play. I couldn't see the advantage of playing a 2.5D or whatever you want to call it, tactics game in mixed reality. Like, I don't want to necessarily stand up and walk around a game board the entire time I'm playing it. I find that these kind of Japanese style tactics and RPG games are generally pretty cerebral, and having time to think and like sitting down or laying on a couch or in bed or something like that is kind of perfect for these games. You just be very like relaxed physically, and I think that's one of the best things about games. You just really engage your brain and, you know, kind of turn off the body a little bit. Small Discord channel with veteran Dragon Age players, and everyone's really much enjoying it. That's awesome. That's great. That's the most important part, Anna, is when you're playing a game that you like, if it's doing the things that you like, that's perfect. The trick in the business is making sure that you've got a wide enough audience that enough people can enjoy it, and the game is good enough. Like that's a balance between good and like, you know, and what I mean by good is like the quality of workmanship and the quality of vision. I think those two things are very like intertwined in making video games. Wilds for 10 minutes kept crashing. Fluffle Pimp says Wilds is a blast. Okay, cool. So I played, my first Monster Hunter was World, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. Just something about the combat loop and the gameplay loop was really good for me. I really liked the power progression. So you start out with like pretty shitty kit, and then you go fight like a T-Rex, and then by the time you get to like the second area, you have the ability to get weapons that just utterly destroy the T-Rex, and it's very satisfying to go from this, you know, really intense long fight where you're like weakening him and trying to like chop off his tail and trap him and all this other stuff, to I can just farm T-Rexes now. So I thought that was really cool. And that, you know, I understand that's probably just how Monster Hunter works, but when I saw that in World, I was like, I'm in. I love this. So I've very much enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to Wilds, whatever it's called. Let's see. Cool. So we got those. Do I have anything else in the news? Oh, there's a Hogwarts Legacy sequel that's going to be incorporated with the new HBO series. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but Sparkle is. I've got a bunch of friends who are huge Harry Potter fans, kind of the right generation for that. Very interesting.
If I remember correctly, isn't the HBO series remaking the book/movie story, but just with new characters and HBO style?
Honestly, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So that does mean potentially you get kind of more of like a core story Harry Potter game, maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I see what you're saying. So Hogwarts Legacy was a completely different story.
Or in the past, before the events of Harry Potter,
yeah, completely different story that kind of really didn't have anything to do with the books. It was just rooted in the universe. Okay, so that should be interesting. And I know that was a little mixed. Some people who were Harry Potter fans liked that, and some people were like, "What the fuck? I want all my like favorite
game
people."
That, like, I know people who like that game played it for like 500 hours though.
Yeah.
So and I know it's very, very good looking UE5 game. So I've always appreciated that about it.
I want to say the thing that made Sparkle bounce off was I think she was forced to train in the dark arts, and she just really didn't like that. She was like, I would never train in the dark arts. This is not a choice that I would ever want to make.
This is a bad Harry Potter RP. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, you would never learn Avada Kedavra. Like, that doesn't make sense if you went to Hogwarts. Like, that is a crime.
We're talking about like Civil War Hogwarts here, though.
Exactly. You would have
in the day.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, you gotta learn the dark arts to defend yourself against them, you know?
It was a different time.
So it was a different time. So yeah, maybe she's gonna be into 2. That might be really cool for her. So you guys, chat, you have any thoughts on Harry Potter stuff? And it's okay if you're like, yeah, fuck that, I'm not into it. It's totally cool. I understand why. I'm not into Harry Potter personally.
The whole fact that you're like a kid at a school in terms of like a video game RPG, like I can kind of figure out like some ways that you can make that interesting, but it just feels like it inherently has like some like end game blockage in terms of just kind of like the, you know, storytelling and how realistic it is and stuff like that. That was the one that I always thought was kind of weird. Like, how do you get a power fantasy as like a student at a school?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I feel like what you're talking about is that thing that I was describing that wasn't just about quality of workmanship. It's clarity of vision and like the story you're trying to tell. Because how do you tell a story about being a kid at the school but go on these crazy big adventures where like obviously you're breaking all of the rules of the universe? You know, like if it were purely a story about being a kid at Hogwarts, you wouldn't go on crazy adventures.
Exactly.
You'd be in fucking class and
Yep.
like doing boring high school shit. So if anything, it should have been done as like, you know, almost the like the way Persona does it when you're at school and you have to like interact with the other students and shit. It should have been that. It should have been like a
Yep.
slice of life.
Or just
You know?
don't do a student. Like there's so much
Yeah.
in the Harry Potter
Yeah.
universe that could be, you know, action packed and RPG-esque and stuff like that. And it just I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. PS1 Hagrid, what was that?
Oh, there's like a, it's probably Chamber of Secrets game that was on the PS1, and Hagrid is just comprised of maybe like 30 polys total, and his head is kind of just like a cone, and I don't know, it's always been a meme where they just put a picture of that and like say, you know, PS1 Hagrid is disappointed in you or something.
Nice.
I don't know, I'll have to send it to you later. It's
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, Harry Potter just didn't do anything for me. I was never really into it, so it is what it is. But I know a lot of people like it for a variety of reasons, none of which are a representation of the creator, right? Like, I think that's important to separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we talked about that a little bit, you know, a couple weeks ago. That like, I personally think, you know, this is a bit of a hot take, but I personally think it's okay to enjoy someone's art without agreeing with the personality or the message of the artist. Artists are often very complicated individuals. Most good artists, I would even dare say all good artists have gone through some very serious traumas that shape their worldview, and that generally tends to lead to some very weird, you know. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that, Brightside. I think that that leads to they have problematic personalities, and you know, you have some good ones and you have some bad ones. Like Hideo Kojima, really fucking weird, but he's a great creative, you know. And then, of course, you have some other people who went broad. Good example, Kanye, right? Like, Kanye, very talented creative, obviously problematic personality, right? Like, I don't think anyone has to fucking guess at that. Like, the dude has caused himself so many problems just by, like, not being quiet and sticking to his art, right? And, like, talking to his friends group. He goes and, like, says shit out loud in public that you obviously can't fucking say, regardless of whether or not you're in context. There's just certain things you can't say. Like, the world is not, you know, as much as I like you guys in chat, you guys really don't know me and I don't really know you. So it's best to just be like, let's appreciate the relationship we have here, where, you know, we're artists, we make things, and you guys like our art. And that's it. Like, there's no need to complicate it any further than that. So that's my thought on it. I think art is really important, especially stuff that challenges your worldview and pushes you out of your comfort zone, because it helps you grow as a person, helps you see new and interesting things. Does always cut both ways. It can be very difficult sometimes, but it's always better than validating your assumptions and existing in an echo chamber. Let's see. Do we have anything else? I could get into some
The
some
only
Unreal.
other things that I had seen is that Steam added game recording to their SDK, so now you can record games from Steam without having to use Game Bar or NVIDIA Shadow Play or whatever you were using, OBS. But one of the cool things that we're looking at is that it also allows the developers to effectively fire events in the game that will interact with this recording system and kind of create markers where exciting stuff happened in the game that you might potentially want to go back and watch or clip or something like that. And so for something like Hyperskate, that's obviously going to be extremely relevant to us whenever you do a run or a crazy jump or complete a achievement or something like that. It'll probably be tied into that system, so it's pretty neat.
Hell yeah. Anna mentioned something about artists. I agree, Anna, and I think that the best advice I can give about that is just don't fucking listen to them. Like, look at their art, but they're not someone like shaping public policy or like they have ideas, but they're not academics like studying things. Like they're often not experts. They're just people that are really passionate about shit that they do, and they like to be loud about it sometimes. And I don't think that's a very responsible way as an artist with a following to use your platform. I know that that's a bit controversial, especially in this day and age where people believe that all art is inherently political and needs to have a message. I feel like the messages I like to convey are the human experience, and it's not about this one moment in time. It's more about I think stories really just unite people in the shared human experience. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing. Like we all experience tragedy. We all experience, like life has finality to it. There's always a beginning and an end, like a changing of the seasons and how we know these things. Like those are the things that I think are the important lessons. The stuff that remind you that like the cosmos continues to move without you, right? Like I think that's important shit. Other things I think are much less important. Yeah, exactly, Anna. Don't worry about it. I'm tracking. I know what you're saying, and your opinion is totally valid. I get it. I totally get it. What's up, Boom? Grumpy Cat. Let's go.
Boom.
And you got the quad. You got the square in there. That's perfect. Brightside, what did you actually even clip? I don't think you clipped anything.
Hopefully it was kidding.
Yeah, I think he was kidding. I appreciate you for for giving me some sass. It's totally okay. Yeah, and I think the important thing, chat, is like my intentions are always for like positivity and like helping people. It's not like that's the whole point of Fractal Grove. Like we want to help you guys make games, and we're doing the big risky thing of being out here on the internet, risking, the bigger we get, there's going to be more negative attention. It just happens. But the important part is as we get bigger and bigger, the negativity might be loud, but the negativity is not right. There are people who just want to watch other people fuck up and fail, and like they enjoy that, and that's their favorite thing. So as we get bigger, chat, we know who you guys are, who like us and support us, and we're going to listen to you guys. We're not going to listen to the people who don't give a shit and just want to watch things fail. I'm speaking from experience as someone who worked on Destiny for 5 years. There was a significant amount of fucking negativity about that game. Like, holy shit. I've met people in person. I was at a restaurant, and I was talking to this dude who was like a waiter, and he goes, "Oh, you make video games?" Because I was wearing like a Destiny shirt or a Halo shirt or something like that. I was wearing a video game shirt, and he's like, "Oh, where'd you get that? You like video games?" I was like, "Oh, I make them, blah, blah, blah." He goes, "What did you work on?" And I go, and then I worked on a bunch of mobile games. I've worked on robots. I've worked on console games. I worked on Destiny. And he goes, "Oh, well, I meant like good games." And I was like, "Okay, you're a stranger." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not over here talking shit to you for working in the fucking bar, bro. Like, so of course, but I have to take that shit in stride. I got to be like, "Oh yeah, I hear you. It's not for everybody." And he's like, "Oh, I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you." And he's like, "That's pretty cool." And he's like, "But that game is cheeks." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's okay. I get it. Like, not everybody likes that shit. It's totally fine." You don't have to love the art that I make, but like, just it's one of the things you expose yourself to when you're out in public and you tell people what you do, and the things you make have very strong opinions associated with them. And at the same token, I've had someone be like tears in their eyes telling me that the fucking mission that I made gave them a chance to reunite with their estranged brother. And like, if it wasn't for this game, they would have fucking like, you know, had no relationship with this person that they fucking fell out of touch with, and how much it mattered to them. And they like gave me a hug, and I was like, bro, I didn't do any of that. I just made a video game. You guys just found the common ground and like, you know, repaired your relationship. And of course, like, that's the shit that I try to tell them, is be like, hey, you know, I appreciate you being thankful for me, but I didn't do that. Like, I'm glad that you just found a space where you could reconnect with this person who matters a lot to you. And, you know, that's what I think is important. And if you enjoyed the thing that I made, that's all that matters. And I'm glad that you had fun and that it meant something to you. So that's the best way to do all that. Never see 10,000 workers it takes to make a game. Yeah, exactly. We're not people. That's the weird part. Like, that's the biggest risk with game dev and being public with game dev, is that there's this adversarial culture. And I think it's because gamers can have really strong opinions and people get real butthurt about words on the internet. But you have to understand that if people aren't saying anything about you, nobody knows who you are and they don't give a shit. And that's far worse. That means you've made something bad that doesn't connect with anybody. But if you made something good and people have strong opinions, I want to say it was like Cat Williams or someone was like, you know, if you don't have haters, like you're not shining brightly enough. Like, you need those fucking haters. Those are your fuel. And I mean, I don't like the negativity. It does make me feel bad, but it's the cost. You have to, that's a part of the job. If you want to go out and do this, you got to fucking take the risk. So I guess that's the thing I'm trying to say to you guys is I know the risk and it's very scary, but I am trying to say, like, I'm here for you guys. I'll be, you know, I'll always assume positivity, and I will just, you know, accept that. And then of course, when we get like shitty trolly people, which we have not had at all, we've only had bots so far. I won't be shy about being like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Go away. Like, you know, I'm totally fine with that. I'm not going to abide toxicity. Let's see. A lot of opinions of a game they haven't even played. Yeah, a lot of the negative opinions about Destiny are from people who never played Destiny. You've worked on even worse games too. Yeah, I definitely did. I'm not shy about saying when I worked on bad games or games that just didn't work well. Obviously, I'm going to say the parts that I made are the best parts, but people review bomb. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I don't want to say all that out loud just because those are controversial topics, but I feel you. You were director on The Day Before?
No, he's kidding. He was just saying two
Okay,
terrible
like,
projects.
I was like, bro.
And then Concord.
Yeah. No, it's like you might catch hands. There's like probably acrimony around that shit.
Did you see the day before? This is another news thing that I had seen, but the day before, people started a Kickstarter to make another game, and then it did so poorly that they canceled it, and then they announced that they're making another game. And I want to say the new, like, third version is like a prop hunt game, basically.
Oh boy.
And they worded it like, we know everybody has been dying for us to make a prop hunt game, so we've decided we're gonna do it. And it's like,
dying.
Who was dying for that? Like,
that's insane. No YouTube chat. Okay, I was like, oh shit, I forgot about YouTube chat.
I've been watching. We all good.
All right, sweet. Brightside. So I'll just tell the story and then I'll hop into Unreal. But you were saying you tell Uber drivers you make techno because you don't want to get into the semantics of it. So there was a time when I was at a Penny Arcade in Boston, and we took a cab because it was just easier to take cabs than Uber in Boston at the time. And there was our cabbie was like super fucking Boston. And I just remembered he was like, what do you guys do? What are you in town for? And we were like, oh, we make video games. And he goes, no shit. Like fucking Mario Brothers and shit? You make fucking video games? You ever seen a ship flying through the sky and shit? And I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, he sounded like that. He didn't sound like he was Bostonian. He sounded like New York, Connecticut or something like that. It was very weird. But I always remember, like, fucking Mario Brothers and shit. And I'm like, bro, this man literally said Mario on purpose. Like, amazing. I love it so much. Hey, you'll make that fucking like Pong, you know. Yeah, exactly, dude. Oh, Anna, you're not being controversial at all. I just wanted to clarify that it's dangerous for me to say things that can be taken out of context. We have all of our streams up. I'm sure I've dug many fucking holes already. But if I don't say certain words, then it's better for me. You know what I mean? And for what it's worth, the entities and businesses and people that you were mentioning are people that I have directly interacted with in my career. So I don't want to say anything that could put me into any kind of crosshairs or conversations that are negative. I just, like I was saying, avoid the toxicity. I just want to make cool shit. That's it. Real trick is learning how to handle things and strive to maintain the ability to absorb criticism in a healthy way. Yes, exactly, Fluffle. Okay, I'll be real with you guys when I say this. As a designer, I want feedback from absolutely everybody, but that doesn't mean I listen to it. It's very important to get it. And oftentimes what I'm looking for is, like, I won't be like, hey, what do you think of level 3? And then you go, you know, if someone tells me, oh, level 3 has too much platforming, I will then be like, why do you think it has too much platforming? And then if they start pointing out a specific sequence of inputs to me, like, oh, this jump right here just really pissed me off. It took me 30 minutes. Then I'd be like, how are you trying to solve it? You know, what was your methodology? Can you explain it to me? Like, what skills did you use? Like, what things did you have available to you? And then from that, I'm not going to tell them why I think they had that feeling, but I'll be like, oh shit, I get it. I did a really bad job of telling them they need to use triple jump here instead of high jump. That's on me. It's never on the player. It really isn't. So sometimes people just bitch and they don't like how difficult games can be. And the story is that they appreciated overcoming the challenge. Ran into that a lot with Whisper. But yeah, I think that's more important. And I've worked with a ton of designers who will become somewhat combative and tell the player why the player is wrong and they don't understand it. And they're like, oh, you're just playing the game wrong. Did you try using this thing? And it's like, dude, it's not us versus them. It's literally not that. This is an elective activity. Just fucking think about where you fucked up, because the game only exists because you made it. The player is playing it, so that means you at least reach them in some way. So make sure that it's actually good. Let's see. Whatever helps them understand. Yeah, exactly. Clipping and shipping, bro. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't talk to the doctor. Yeah, it's the same shit, Anna. What do you say, Tony? So Tony made me a new tool. I had this tool for a little bit, but I ran into some issues with it. So Tony reworked some aspects of it and gave me a lot more functionality to the tool. The way this tool works is it lets me build out ramps and quarter pipes and, half pipes, full tubes, snake runs, all kinds of shit like that. So what I'm going to do is I had a snake run over in this lake area. I will say that I went back and forth in this a little bit, chat, on what I wanted to share with you guys on stream, because one of the things that I think is really important is not completely spoiling what this game is. I don't want to show you guys what the game is before it's ready. When you look behind the curtain, it's always ruined. So that's what I'm going for. So I'm going to build this thing. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is or how it's connected to the game in any way. I'm more than happy to talk about all this stuff after we launch and the game comes out. But I'm going to be intentionally vague for a lot of parts of this process, but I'll talk about like why I'm making choices with scale and angles and all that stuff and like what I'm going for. So I built a really cool snake run here. This is a prototype. And what I mean by prototype is that it's like a test of different like game systems and things we have. And what I mean by game systems are there was a really interesting concept that I learned at Bungie from Jason Jones that is geometry is gameplay. So the level is fundamental to how the player plays the game. So when I'm saying that, this prototype was, can we make a run? Let's see. Let's just get up here a little bit. Sorry, my frames are a little choppy here, chat. Let me see if I can kill some of my monitor stream qualities and make them much lower so that it's not just chewing up on my
What's your
GPU
viewport quality set to too?
I should be able to fix this if I drop this quality a little bit. We'll drop you to 160. Cool. It's a little happier. Where's the viewport quality, Tony?
If you hit the settings thing in the very top right corner of the window, then you're gonna look for like, yeah, that. And then there should be like, I can't remember what that exact window is called right now off the top of my head.
It's okay. I'm not worried about it. If you want to
make sure it's like not on cinematic or epic, I would definitely turn it down to high.
Yeah, if you want to go look at that and then just tell me what it is, I'll keep going with what I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I said prototype, my goal here was we have this spawn area. That's what this little dish-shaped guy is. Let's see. That's way too high. There we go. Sorry, I'm turning down my camera move speed. If you hold down right-click in Unreal and you use mouse wheel, so I'm holding down right-click. If you guys look in the upper right, there's a quad grid. And then to the left of that, there's a 2.5 camera. As I hit the mouse wheel, it changes how fast this moves. It's a really good shortcut for if you're trying to move around. So like now I'm at 0.6. If I scroll up, now I'm really fast zipping around. That is one of the most useful shortcuts that I've found as like a level and encounter designer in Unreal. So at any rate, I got this spawn point up here on top of this mountain. I wanted to build a slalom course. So I have these, Tony reworked this ramp tool for me. So I've got some that just need to be redone. So actually, now that I'm looking at this, I think I'm just going to remake all this to show you guys what I was going for. So let's get in here and start messing with this spline tool.
You're just looking for scalability in that settings menu, and then just hit like high at the top of that window that pops open.
Got you. Yeah, I'm on Epic for everything. So just click high for groups.
Yeah, high or medium. That's just going to turn the rendering quality of the viewport down, and that'll make it run better.
Oh, that's way better. Yeah, okay. Cool. So I've got this the spline segment here, and if you look at it, the way Tony did it is I dropped this blueprint into the scene, and the level, sorry. I worked in Unity too. But you've got these 2 points on your spline. You have the origin, and the first point is always pulled out. If I grab this point, I can add a new point to it. I can change its angle. I can use the Bezier tool to add a curve to it. Oh, I didn't click on the Bezier, sorry. So I can do stuff like this. And the way Tony wrote this blueprint is that along these spline points, it's procedurally generating this ramp shape for me, which is really fucking cool. It's not just restricted to this half pipe shape. I can also go into Tony, it's on root, right?
No, it's on the spline points themselves. It's that big section of checkboxes there, kind of towards the bottom that says Hyperskate at the top of it.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the top width, height, and depth don't do anything right now. And I guess neither do the bottom ones, but the checkboxes work right now.
Cool. So what I did was I checked all of the boxes. Right now we had bottom left, bottom right.
And if you're on the last spline point, it now applies it to the spline point, or to the points after your point and to the next point. But when you're on the last one, there's nothing after it. So you just, if you're trying to do this one, you would want to go back to the first one, and when you change it, it'll change everything between that point and the last point. Like Vince said, this is a tool that we had made previously that you had static settings for the entire ramp for what he's showing you right now with the checkboxes, where you could turn on any of the modular parts of it, but that affected the entire spline. I have now reworked it so per each point you can change things so that he can make a mixture of a full tube and just a half pipe and knock the floor out in one spot if he wants to, or whatever. So
I got some more chat messages real quick. Oh, yeah, when we worked on part of the show, the lead animator got pissed, blasted rolling. Yeah, dude, it's totally okay. I've had people shit, what was it, like the Thunderlord mission, they were like, this activity was pretty weird, I'm glad I got Thunderlord, why did you make it that way? And I was like, oh, I had 2 months to build and design the entire thing, and I was the only designer on it, and I had one designer who helped me do some of the back end setup for the activity, but that's it. And they were like, oh, and I was like, yeah. So that's why I recognize that it's not as, baked in the oven as it could be, and that's on purpose. That's, it's just a symptom of the time I was given. So yeah, instead of getting mad at it, it's like, I know it wasn't perfect. I hope you guys liked it anyway. Sorry, it's not great. But at the same time, like, if you have the time to work on it, you should. You should put in maximum effort and ship things when they're ready. I was in a position where that wasn't an option for me because of my position in the organization. And there were, business leaders who had different goals. And they were like, go make this. And I was like, okay. So that's how it works. Okay, so I got the first spline point. There we go. Okay, cool. So now we're seeing an update in real time. Before Tony, I was noticing that the older versions of the tool, I would click these and then I would have to like click another spline point and then click it back and then it would update. So
this is a very custom C++ extension of engine editor functionality that it does have like this weird problem. I've run into it with this new version where if you change those width and height and stuff at the bottom, those do work actually. I forgot. But when you change them, it may not actually do anything until you like move a point or change something else.
Exactly.
I'll get that worked out. But yeah, this tool is interesting, but it required several hundred lines of C++ to kind of like take what the spline tool in the engine already does and apply metadata to each of the points. And then you have to go in and you have to tell it, okay, when you change the property, like all of these events fire that cause like the construction script to refire and update all of these things. And you have to kind of like manually go in and make sure all of that's still working. It was an interesting thing. I had set it up for the gate thing that you're seeing kind of alongside this initially, so that each of the gates would have the ability to be controlled, but we decided to apply it to this ramp thing as well.
I'm not seeing the side ramps generate. Oh, are they generating backwards, bro? I got some Z fighting here.
It's probably, you probably just need like to add some, let's see, the outer ramp is the side ramps.
Oh, I got it. Well, it says they're 500.
Well, they're not checked though. You got to do outer ramp left and right.
Oh, I'm clicking on the fucking other point.
Oh yeah, and you're on the last point too. But yeah, to your point, they should probably be there, and they're not. So, okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's
wrap this up right before our stream this morning, guys. Hasn't really been tested.
We're testing it in prod.
It may also be that you need to do what we were talking about and like drag one of the points out and see if that applies your changes.
That's what I was trying to do. So let's do this, and I'll add a point.
Oh yeah, you can see some Z fighting on the edge there. Like
I think you just got him going on the inside. Yeah, because as I'm doing this.
Yep. The up and down angle looks good now though. That used to not work at all.
It used to do really fucking weird shit to the Geo. So yeah, no, that's very good. I'm gonna get rid of this point now. Okay, so let's make this look a little better, chat. I'm gonna get rid of these ramps on the sides. They're very cool. I'm sad they're not working because I really like those. I think they're cool. they turn into, it's kind of a wedge shape. So let's
The
see.
idea here is that you can
Let's do
make
this. Let's go down
everything
over here.
from a quarter pipe to a half pipe, or if you turn all of that pipe stuff off, there are just ramps that kind of attach to the outsides, and so you can use that just to make like a kicker or something like that. So
Yeah, which is what this
Yeah.
guy was. So
Yeah.
we'll see if I can recreate the kicker here real quick because that'll be fast. Let's go with. Okay, you said the settings were on this. Yeah, so this is only outer ramp, right?
well, yeah, and you're on the top level right now, so hit those little arrows where it says select spline points, and if you hit the left one in the properties, that will select the first spline point, which is what you need here. Yep. And then
Perfect.
it does kind of look like they're set the way you would expect, but oh no, so you need that hyperskate section above default. Maybe that's the problem, because you're seeing the root stuff in default, and this stuff
Yeah.
right here is the point by point stuff.
There it
There
is.
you go.
There it is.
Okay.
Okay, so I was using, yeah, you got to
I
deprecate
need to
the
take that
default.
default shit out. Okay.
There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we're going to make this kicker again. So we'll get rid of bottom right. Nope, we want bottom right. Bottom left and bottom.
And you don't need bottom right technically either, but that'll just put something on.
I
the
like-
corner.
Yeah, I like the thing on the other side because then you can go the opposite way instead of just like hitting the backside of a ramp. It feels bad. Anna says, I'm always surprised when people who clearly play the game hate it but don't stop playing it. Yeah, my friend, life is too short. If you're not happy, go play another game. I've talked about this before. That is a symptom of conditioned behavior. People feel compelled to keep playing a game. It's a problem with games as a service design. When you are building a game as a service, you have to leverage a lot of psychological parts of how people work. And when you do that shit, it makes people go like, I need to keep playing this game. This is my game. This is all I've done. I'm unhappy with this game. And it basically like rides alongside addiction and addictive behaviors. So those people are stuck in a behavioral trap and they're trying to find a way out, and quitting is not acceptable for them. So I don't really know how to help those people other than convincing them that they need to play another game.
Can you show Nick what he's asking about?
Yeah, sorry, Nick.
Deck top and make your deck
Yeah,
width
middle point
different.
flat
You
top.
can just show him how you can put a tabletop on it.
Oh, whoops. Let's undo that.
You might
Okay,
need,
the undo doesn't do. It's all good.
yeah,
Is it Alt redo? Oh, man, you can't
Control
redo.
Y is redo.
There we go. Okay. So I want to go here.
And then you need to do left or right so that you have the side walls. Maybe you need to do top of the pipe too, technically. So top left to match your bottom left. Yeah, there you go. So now you'd have a tabletop, technically. So I probably need to make the sidewall be able to do that without the pipe, but
Honestly, that's pretty fucking cool. I'm going to do this, and we're going to go with a height of... Let's cut it in half.
those don't do anything. You need to use the bottom ones. Those
Oh,
are
my
for the-
bad.
those are for the gates.
What I just... Whatever. I just fucked that
It
up.
just it doesn't do anything, so it doesn't matter that you changed it. You can just leave it.
Okay, so this...
And
I
then
want
in this
to
one, you're
do
not. If you're
50.
using sidewalls, those are going to be like vertical. So you'll see what happens when you put that in. I don't know if it'll even do anything, but
It didn't like it.
yeah. So try half pipe height. See what that does. It might be a like drag the point and force it to update type thing. Nice.
Hey, there we go. We got the broken things to happen.
Yeah,
That's great.
that if you keep dragging it, that should go away. So it'll like appear and then keep going, and then it should kind of figure itself out. That's just the nature of the spline tool and kind of the way that it works. But
Okay, cool. No worries.
if you ever
Let's
do run into
go,
weird stuff like that, just kind of move some points around and it should handle it. But yeah, so it still needs some dialing in, but it does create a ton of flexible options to, we're kind of I'm trying to give Vince the tools to, you know, build platforming challenges and skate parks and ramps and whatever. So we're trying to make it pretty versatile.
Let's see if, where did default go? Is default still in here? Oh no, because I need to go here. I wonder if it's on this.
What are you looking for? Default's at the top. It was collapsed. Right above spline.
Can I do it here? Is this maybe it? Yeah, that was it. Okay, so it's root.
Okay. It's
default.
not hooked up yet. Okay.
There you go. So root of the object, default height is where you change it. Okay, so I like this. I think that's a pretty decent ramp. Kind of want to make this edge a little smoother, so we're gonna
be aware as you're doing this. Unfortunately, because of these bugs, it will probably mean that these things will change a little bit when I fix the problem. So just don't get too attached. But other than that, yeah,
it's all good. I'm not attached. Oh, this one is unhappy.
Well, that's the next section past the point, so it's using the new checkbox settings. I think currently each of them defaults to maybe what you're seeing here, so I might need to add some logic to make it like copy the previous point settings when you make a new one, so that
it seems like it is.
Yeah.
But why is it not doing outer ramp? Oh, I know why. Because I'm in Hyperskate.
Yeah, you're in the right one. Try to drag a point now, maybe. You're not getting outer ramp. Weird.
But it's only on this point. I'm going to delete this point. Let's go back here. Yeah, so this one doesn't have outer ramp either.
Wow.
This one doesn't have outer ramp.
Some stuff is...
This one does, though. Okay, so the further points down are propagating.
Yeah, the last point doesn't matter. You got to remember that. It doesn't do anything. So it's always the previous one to the next one is what is using the logic.
All right, so this is going to get funky, but I'm going to do this, and I'm going to toggle. Oh, dude, it's still breaking.
Go to the middle point now, not the end point, the middle one. And
so
now change it there, and that should do it. Yeah. There
okay, here we go. All right, sweet.
And then we need from one point to the next, that's what you're setting, and then the last one doesn't do anything.
Why is it?
Because the ramp height or the pipe height or something on the first section is different from the second section. So you can use those arrows on the select spline points to go forward and back if you need to like check the previous one and then jump back forward. That's a good way to do it. So it looks like you got 500, 250, 500, 250 for your numbers at the bottom.
I have to do this twice. Watch this. So half pipe height.
I've been seeing that. It doesn't seem like it saves the first time you do it.
Okay, and then we'll go back here, and I'm going to toggle outer ramp right. Oh, she's still broken.
Oof. Well, I'm sorry. It's
wait. No, I'm back on the first point, so don't worry about that. I'm on that thing, so we need to go here. We need to go here.
And then go back one, because that's the last one.
Then I'm going to do outer ramp right.
That point doesn't do anything. That's the last one.
Oh, right. Thank you. This one, outer ramp right. Okay, I got the 250s set here. Okay, so it seems like this is not working right.
Is that
the outer ramp
width? Is that default section available in there if you scroll down?
Yeah, let's see.
No. Okay, yeah, I'm not 100. It's not the point height, is it? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to double check this stuff. So I apologize, it's not working as well as it should.
Nah, it's all good. Don't even worry about it. This is a part of how it works, chat. So, as a designer, Tony builds me tools to go make the things that I need to make, and this is a part of the process. This is very normal. This tool is very, 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 very good. So, yeah, it's important for me to be able to use it. So I want to do this. What was I trying to do here? I was trying to curve this thing down a little bit, but it looks like it's fucking up the curve on the rest of it. I want to make this have like a nice end cap. So we're gonna undo that. Autosave happening.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, the process. Exactly, Boom. Anna says, I'm very Destiny burned out. Just stop playing it. Go play Tiny Glade instead. Yeah, no, that's great. That's really good, Anna. It's very important to step away from a game that you're not happy playing. That was really hard for me, especially with Destiny, because I played so much of Destiny, especially while working on it. And when Shadowkeep came out, I was not happy with where the game was going. And when I left the studio, I was like, I'm not going to play this game for a little bit and see how I do. Collision get made by the spline too. Boom, honestly, I don't know. This is custom made tools that Tony made. So when he gets back, I'll make sure he can try to answer that for you. Okay, so we got this thing. I'm going to keep fucking with it. I'm going to find a way to make this work the way I want it to work. Okay, so we got top here. I don't need that. Oh, I was doing the wrong fucking sides, chat. I turned on left, didn't I? Yeah, I didn't need left. What I needed was right. Top right. Boom! We fucking fixed it, chat. So see, Tony's good at making stuff, and I have to learn how to use it first. So that was on me. I got it. Yeah, and this is awesome. Some fucking designers will like piss and moan about tools like this and be like, I don't get it. You should make it better. No, that's wrong. Like, he made you something that works. Go fucking figure out how to use it. Tony, I figured it out. It was user error. You're good. Oh, you're muted, homie.
I said, oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, so I went back to this point, and I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, I turned on left. So all I had to do was turn on right, and that fixed it.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just on the wrong one. I was just clicking the wrong fucking thing. So yeah, your tool's good, bro.
That seems... And that's not how that's supposed to work, but okay. I'm glad you figured out a way to make it work for now. So.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, you're good. You can do whatever you want. I was saying that there's sometimes, designers that I've worked with that will like piss and moan about shit like this and be like, man, this doesn't work. Like, you need to fix it. And it's a fucking waste of engineering time, honestly. Like, it really is. Like, you made something that works. I need to figure out how to use it and get better at it. And then we'll all be happier, So this is the correct way.
Sick.
Okay, so I like this. I recreated the ramp that I was going for. So chat, the way this works. I had this big long kicker here because as you're slaloming down, so let's get some speed going so you can get the hyperskate experience, A little too fast right now. Let's go down to like 3. 2? Yeah, okay, so we're hyperskating along. We're hitting our fucking things. And we went back and forth on trying to figure out how to show you guys this. The process for this is very unfriendly to stream because I have to switch my display to the HMD. And it doesn't work right. So you hit this kicker. Now you're way up in the air and you're like, oh shit. You got to make sure you hit it with enough speed to maintain good time, but too much speed and you overshoot this. And then you land here, hit this, and you enter a snake run. So what I mean by that is a big fucking tube. And, you like ride around in the snake run inside of this tube. It's very fun. I got to recreate that, but that's okay. So let's go back up to the top and let's fuck with some ramps now that we know how to make this shit work. All right, so click this guy. We'll get up on that. I'm zooming at 5,000 miles per hour, which I feel like Boom likes. Boom appreciates the chaos. Going too ham on the zoom. Don't worry about that thing in the background, chat. You didn't see that. Oh, foot pedal for push to talk. That's not a bad idea, Tony.
Yeah, I have this Elgato foot pedal thing that I might have bought for Armored Core just because I thought it would be fun, and I don't use it for anything, so that might be a good use case.
There you go, Boom. That was for you. Okay, so what I was doing with this guy, now that I know a little bit more how to use this thing, I want to do, let's see, let's look at it from this direction. I want the right sides on this. So we're going to nuke all the left stuff. Don't want left. I don't have left. Left was on this guy. Okay, cool. So we go here. Where's my thingies? Spline. Fuck, what was I doing again? I literally just exited my brain. Okay, there we go. We got it. All right, so let's get rid of left, top left, and top. I don't want to top on this. Let's go top right. So we've got this nice curve here. Oh, shit. I don't know. Do I make this a bank, chat, or do I make it like a nice... I think I make it a nice curve. Let's do that. Let's do a nice like quarter pipe. So the goal here is, as you come off your start, you started your slalom run. You go in you're surfing. I missed the gate. You hit the gate, and I want to. So I probably need to do this. I probably need to take this gate actually and give it a bit of the old twisterino. It's probably the right way. So that way you want to approach it, hit it this way, hit the ramp. So
give it the old gate twist.
Yeah, twist this gate. So what I'm thinking here, and I know this from playing this run a bunch. What would Boom use a foot pedal for? Oh, that's a great question. Yo, what's up, Anime? Did I already say what's up? Get some sick airtime. I feel like the airtime here is like you have now scuffed your run, because I don't know how the fuck you get back up to the top of this mountain. Control Z. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go this way and pull this ramp in some more, because I know it was not nearly tight enough. And I feel like I'm going to just index this way and make it real tight on the edge here.
Yeah,
Okay.
The problem with these the first time through was that it was more optimum not to use them. So it would be better if that wasn't the case.
Yeah, so I'm going to give this a little bit of a turn on it. I want it to be narrow, because the wider I make this gate, the less the player needs to turn to go through the gate. So my goal is to have them turn, go through the gate, right up along the side of this thing. And I want to position this guy. So we're going to grab this. Let's grab a couple points here. Where's me? Oh, there we go. Let's go to about there. Let's go to about... Let's back it up, because that guy was unhappy. So we'll do this. Let's grab this one. Pull you out to about here. Grab this one. We'll move the whole thing that way a bit. Grab this one. Move that in a bit. So I'm not really trying to mirror the spline exactly, but it's kind of a good guide. And then what I want to do is make the height on this much bigger. And that was on this guy. So we're going to go sidewall height. Let's go with 300. All right, let's go 400. All right, so this should be big enough that you hit this bitch. No, you're going to fly off of that. Let's go with 800 just to be safe here. All right, cool. Should be a nice big wall. So for you guys watching this, it's a little hard to see this gate. I'll select it. There you go. So you're about this tall as you go through this. And I know that if you hit that, you're going to ride up really high on this wall. And we need to come down and get out before, we keep going. So I think I might make this curve a little more intense on the end. So let's go with... grab this thing and get the Bezier handle. Hopefully this doesn't break, Tony. Here's the true test. Oh, let's fucking go. Chat, this was not working the way I wanted it to before, but I think that is going to give you a nice little kick to shoot you through this next gate. And one thing I'm going to do here is select this guy. I'm clicking the gate itself. That's wrong. Click the point. Give it a little bit of a turn to encourage that, so it's less hard to hit. Let's give it a little more of a turn. Oh, and we're a a smidge perfy here because we're looking down at the trailer area off in the distance. And the trailer area has a lot of foliage and trees and stuff that is expensive for rendering. Okay, so now we're going to grab this ramp. We're going to do something similar on this thing. We want only left. And that was on... that point. Why are you saying bottom left? Oh, bottom right. There we go. Okay. I see what I was doing. Okay. So we got this one going. Let's get our
the sidewall height is being controlled by the top level.
Yeah.
Okay,
top level is ramp dimensions.
Okay.
Okay, and so here, I think I want to scooch this guy back a bit. Yeah, because I feel like that was a little hard to hit. Okay, so now we're going to go here, grab this guy, pull this out. Let's get another one and another one. Tony. Why? Why is it doing this to me? Okay, where's the right?
It's so right now, whenever you make a new point, the points start with all the same default settings. I'll just make this half pipe shape. And then, so like your first point that you're on right now is good. You need to go to the next point, and that's going to be where you need to change things. Yeah. Because from this point to the following point is now what these settings that you're doing are controlling. And when you add a new point, then you will go to the next point before the one you just added, and you'll change things there, and so on and so forth.
My fucking brain was refusing to recognize bottom right was not a checkbox I needed. And I'm like, but bottom stuff, I guess. Okay, so we're going to go like this. Let's pull this one up a little bit. So what I'm trying to do here, chat, so I'm going to move this point back. Because I want to get it. There we go. That's a little better. And then we're going to grab this point. Move it back. Go this way. Come up this way. Let's give this guy a little bit of a curve. Yeah, and that'll point us right at that one. And then we'll go here. Hopefully this is going to be all right. Might need to move this out a little more. Yeah, that's better. Then I can dip this one beneath the snow. And let's grab our handle. Okay, so this is already not where I want it. Let's grab this whole ass thing. Oh, that's not what I want. I want... Is it the spline? There we go. Go back here and let's pull this guy up a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna need to drop the points farther down. Okay, so let's pull this one down. This is just like the Tiny Glade stream. Okay, so we're a little better here. So let's look at what this might feel like to a player. Shoot through here, hit this, Okay, that's gonna be way better. All right, so now I need a lot of the deck height on the, or not deck, the side height to go up. So we're gonna go. What do we do? 800. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted sidewall height. Let's go back to.
Okay,
I like.
So what I'm finding is happening probably here is that the height control inside the points for like the sidewalls does work, but it's not being applied until you do something else. So when you're going up to the top and changing it, then it's making it look like that did it. But I'm just finding that you can change sidewall height on the point and then check the box for the sidewall left or right and uncheck it, or vice versa, and that will update it until I get it fixed. So try that.
I was not following what you were saying.
Basically, the top level default controls aren't actually controlling anything like we thought they were. They're just causing things to update that hadn't updated when they should have when you were changing other stuff.
Okay.
So when you're adjusting the sidewall height and whatever on the points and not on the top level, that is what you should be doing. It's just not changing the way that it should. So you can go and you can uncheck one of the boxes and then recheck it, and that will cause everything to update. So that's just a workaround for now.
Ah, that's what I wanted. Okay, cool.
Yep. And so if you changed the height of that, if you went sidewall height 1,000, nothing's going to happen. But then if you just check and uncheck left, it should apply.
Cool. And then this one should be that. All right, we're looking much better.
Oh, I forgot I set myself up another camera angle here. Turn this on for a little bit. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. You guys can get the overview for a little bit.
Oh, nice. You get to see the Tony's lab secrets.
Yep. It's mirrored, which is kind of weird, but whatever.
Oh, chat, if you ever watch me like doing stuff and you're like, what hotkey did I hit? Ask and I'll tell you, because I don't even think about it anymore. I just be hitting buttons. So if you're like, yo, what did you just do to do that thing? Like, let me know. Okay, so we're gonna come out here. I think this is a bit too wacky. So let's pull her in a bit. Come out, we're gonna hit that. I feel like we need to pull this in even more. Yeah, there we go. Tony, type fast. I don't love how this ramp is sticking out here at the bottom. I'm going to fix that real quick. There we go. All right, much better. Okay. And we're going to hit this. This edge is going to be a little rough. So I think what I'm going to do here is go to this point, pull this up. Save chat. All right, we go to this guy. And we don't want bottom left. Come out, hit this. Boom. All right, so we probably need a ramp over here. Or we just make it real spicy. I think we go for make it real spicy and just fix the ramps I've already got. Let's see. Push that one in. Let's pull this one up a bit. It's too much. What I'm looking at here, chat, are these edges. I don't want it to stick up. So push that one in a bit. That's okay. All right, and then let's go back here. Focus on this, and we'll go top right. And then we were saying sidewall height was 800. Oh shit, no, I'm down on that thing. Okay, so we've got right there. Let's go with this one. Okay, didn't save. We're okay there. Let's try this. Sidewall height, was it this?
Yeah, and then just check and uncheck the right box, and that will fix it. That top level stuff shouldn't do anything. You got to do the checkbox to update it on that.
Okay, so it was over here, and then this was sidewall height is here. There we go. That's the one I wanted to change. All right, cool. We got that. We need this guy, and we need to go right. All right. Perfect. Okay, so we got that ramp going. Is already looking a lot better. Start my run, hit this, hit that, go here.
I got mochi.
Nice.
It's very moist.
Gross.
It's wet outside.
Then we'll do that. I need to curve you right there. All right, so then we'll go like this.
Yeah, Fluffle, this is it's really fun to do. This is kind of like one of the first courses that we ever designed, and when Vince first put it together, I did it like 20 times because I was trying to get my time as low as possible. So it's really fun.
My angle's a little too extreme there, so let's do widen that up a bit. That's better. Okay, so now this ramp needs to be pretty extreme. Save again. Yeah, so the ridge line is really cool, and you ride the ridge line, and then you come all the way down here, and it dumps you into this chute, and then you like take this crazy chute down into this valley slalom, which is really nice, and then it goes over the lake with a snake run. So let's see. We don't want right on this one. See if I can get through this workflow. Chat, I'm learning. I'm getting better at it. We want no bottom right. Yep. And we want left. And we want here. Sidewall height. Let's go with 800 again. Oh, that's not right.
Okay, well, I did fix the bugs that you're having, but you would have to recompile, so we'll do that later.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to finish up these ramps on the ridge line since we're at time, and then we'll call stream there. So let's see. Got this. Hit that.
Well, he is wrapping that up, chat. I don't know what the plan is going to be today, but if I do end up continuing to work on Hyperskate stuff later, I may just turn the stream back on and kind of hang out with you guys like I've been doing, but I make no promises. So I'll ping the Discord or something if I'm planning on it, and if you guys want to come hang, that'll be cool. But I'll probably just be maybe working on like PCG trees or something like that. So if that sounds interesting to anybody, then hit me up.
Yeah, PCG trees. Big need. Okay, so here. Get rid of bottom right. We don't need that bitch. Add right. Nope. Left. Save again. I like to watch you, Tony, says Anime. Chat, look at Tony's keyboard. Yeah, I am learning anime. I will say that chat, when I was saying like it's on the designer to learn how to use the tool that the engineer built for him, I think a lot of that mentality comes from me not only making games my whole career. Like I spent the first decade of my professional life doing IT networking stuff. What's up, Artificial Sky? And in doing IT networking stuff, I had to just learn to deal with what I had to make the thing I needed to make. So where I run into an issue is where I go, I'm trying to make this thing that I need to make. So this is why Tony revised the spline tool. We were having issues with that. You saw that like aberrant geo would kind of like pop out on the end. That kept happening, and Tony fixed a bug that made it like not actually generate that way, which is great. But then also mostly, so if this is the flat plane I'm on and I pulled the end down like that to give it like a curve, either down or up, it would really fuck up the way that geometry was generated, so that the vertical axis, change in angle was causing problems. So he fixed that too. And we're in good shape. So like, those are things that I need to be like, hey, this isn't working for me. But if I go like, oh, I really wish you would just change the UX for these steps, like that's fucking pain in the ass. There's no point. Like he gave me a tool that works, so I need to learn how to use it.
I think to your point too, like I will tend with stuff like this not to get too elaborate or detailed on an implementation. Like I'll put together kind of a basic version of what you're talking about, and then I'll give it to you and I'll say, okay, now what do you want? And that iterative process tends to get us closer to what we need a lot of the time. So
exactly. All right, let's see if we can fix it with this chat. Oh no! All right, we're still doing some grumpy geo.
If you go to the top level of the spline tool and change the section length, or do this until it goes away, those are kind of your two options.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I can do that. I was just trying to nudge this little crease out, but I don't think it's going to matter. And we'll go this way. It's infinitely better, chat. It was weird. It wasn't doing the things that I needed it to do. So fixing it this way has been really, really good. And then let's pull another point out. Let's push this one up a bit. We're a little too deep there. Ah, nice. And that smoothed out some of this back here that I needed to smooth out. I wonder if I can nudge this backwards. That'll probably do it.
The next thing that I'm planning to add to this for him too is the ability to change all those dimensions on the points like he's doing, but then be able to kind of have it blend between each point. So you could set one to like 10,000 width and the next one to 500, and it's going to kind of just condense in as it reaches that point really naturally. And so it'll let Vince make funnels and all sorts of stuff that we can't really do quite yet, but I imagine by the end it'd be a very, very versatile tool. I got to figure out how we're going to make it like maybe look a little nicer longer term, but that'll come. Or that can be Ramblin' Rose's job, maybe.
Yeah, so this is functional, and that's the important part. Like the look is something that you dial in before shipping. You do that at the end, but like making sure all this gameplay is solid, you could do with, you know, visuals that aren't great. You don't need to do visuals first.
I would imagine this wood material that it uses maybe came from Megascans or something like that. It's what I tend to do if I just need something that looks okay in the short term.
All right, I think that's good. So what I'm trying to do here, chat, with each of these is make sure that this ramp is at a position where I can catch the player so they don't go flying off the ridgeline. But, oh, there we go. That's going to fix a lot of what I was fucking doing here. But not obscure the view, because the view is really important. So like coming up here and like seeing down there as you're like carving along this ramp is pretty cool. And then coming this direction, seeing that open up, and you're like, oh shit. And then you catch this ramp, and then you go that way. And then obviously there's no ramps here on purpose because it's pretty straight and you don't need it. The intent of the ramp is to allow the player to go really fast. Without the ramps, you have to slow down a lot, and that's not as fun. So really being careful about when you have to hit the brake and when you don't, and making sure that's paced is super important. That's what good gameplay is. Tony, did you see that? I often ask the same thing, anime. Oh shit, bro, he don't crave me. Okay, let's see. I feel like this is good. Okay, so then we're gonna hit this, and
Watching you do this too is just, I go back and forth a lot on, should we bother with all of the headache that world partition is going to cause for us? And I go back and forth on that a lot. But one of the limitations that you're definitely kind of fighting with right now, whether we're talking about it or not, is just the fact that you can't really alter this terrain in any way that would not make you go insane. Because of the way that it works right now. So you're kind of like building on the terrain and not necessarily able to make the terrain do what you want it to do. And world partition would give us that. And so that kind of makes me go back to, well, we probably need to do it. Because chat, right now, this 40 by 40 kilometer landscape is a single entity. And if you try to sculpt on it or anything, you click and the loading bar appears, and then you wait and a little thing changed. And it's almost impossible to kind of like meaningfully sculpt it or do anything to it, because it's really hard to even tell what's going to happen when you do click. If we put it in world partition, then that isn't a problem anymore. I have a prototype that just world partition doesn't allow for static lighting, which is what we're using right now, and the perf gets worse when we don't have static lighting, so that's the reason that we haven't done it yet. But UE 5.5 is supposed to have static lighting for a world partition, so it might still be something that we do, or maybe we'll try to figure out dynamic lighting. We don't know yet. I just don't know if mega lights is necessarily the solution for this particular problem. It might be if we can get really, really good real-time lighting perf by using megalights, then sure. We're talking about like the directional light in the scene and it creating shadows on every tree and thing in the scene to some extent. And I don't know if megalights necessarily makes that any better or not. Maybe it does. Yeah, I've kind of avoided it until this point, to be honest. So. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about how to build some like test environments and scenarios and stuff that will kind of just allow me to figure out what some of the answers to these problems are. And it's just really hard because to some extent, to know if it's going to work on a 40-kilometer landscape, you have to try it on a 40-kilometer landscape. You can't try it on like a little self-contained level because it just isn't the same. So. Artificial sky with their naming convention, and they would probably go with like meta lights next, maybe. I don't know. They have meta humans, so that's what I figured it would be. I don't know if there was too much worth clipping anime, but maybe.
Brightside was trying to clip me saying contentious things. So.
Some stuff out of context, yeah. That sounded bad. Building up the blackmail dossier.
No! And I'm not going to touch that. Maybe I can scooch it. Nope. Oh, it doesn't like the scooch.
Oh shit, Omni's here.
What's up, Omni?
What's up, dude? You see Shooted's message. That's a good one.
Okay, so we got this thing going. Let's see. This ramp is a little tricky with all these angles. I'm kind of pushing the limits of your math here with how much I've been like tweaking these spline points. I think my best bet here is going to be to take this one. Actually, I might need another. Yeah, let's grab another thingy here.
And for like that one where you're getting that seam, you may just want to go to the top level and change the section length to something else. That might help.
Bruh. Is this one? Yeah, there we go. All right, that ramp may not be as useful, but we're gonna see how that one goes. That one's kind of funky, so we're good. And then let's see, we're gonna keep going down here. Here, I'm gonna make a nice curvy boy. I feel like this one wasn't actually even needed, so I'm gonna delete that entirely. Let's see if I can take this one and make the whole ramp I was trying to build.
What's up?
All right, one more section to make this drop into the chute a little easier. get rid of this guy. Cool. So before chat, I had to use multiples of these things. And yeah, now I'm able to do it with just one, which is really good. I think we need to make the height of the sidewalls a little bigger. I'm worried about this angle with all the speed. I'll put a top on it. That's probably the right play. Let's go.
I think that's how you had it before. Yeah.
Here with top left. Didn't like that. Let's do this one. There we go. It's a little funky, but there's a roof on it now. So then you can at least slide way up the wall and then drop down to the chute. Okay. It's looking pretty good. So I think what we will eventually do is probably turn these things into, instead of having like a procedurally generated ramp, a like dedicated model of that ramp. So, you know, as Ramblin', like, you know, gets better with the art tools and some of the other people we're talking to are ready to work on some of these other things. We're working on character art right now. But once we get to that point, we'll be like, all right, now we need these ramps, and they can look at this shape and then go model something based on this shape. And that is what we will need. So I think that will probably do it. Oh, that's doesn't like that. Let's pull this out a little bit. There we go. It's making it chill. And then we'll grab this one. Go that way. Yeah, this seems a little better. All right, we're good. Brightside, were you asking about the whole run that I put together? Because I can show you kind of what I got going on. So we start up here. These are kind of like a fast travel point. Without getting too much into what that is, this is just like, this is where you would start activities. That's kind of the best way to describe it. So like, cool, I'm up here. I'm going to do the slalom run. Your slalom run will spawn in or already be there. Those details are being worked out. Hit your first gate. Hit this. Hit the second gate. Hit this. Hit these. Next gate. We're just cruising along here. I'll take you down to the bottom. Right along a ridge. Hit this gate. Turn here. Might be a little too steep. And then slide this way. And then over there. This little ridgeline area is pretty cool. This hump is a little sketchy because if you hit it too fast, you catch some air and then you float through that. So you have to have your angle correct. A little more air across that. Hit this up into the ramp. Drop into the chute.
You might need to put a wall or something up on that ridge because there's no incentive to hit that ramp right now. You can kind of like cut the corner. We should make it so you can't.
If you do, you're going to miss this gate, which I'm okay with.
Well, I'm just saying when I do this normally, that's what I do is I kind of take like a beeline from the previous gate to the next gate instead of going to the corner because I kind of know where it is, I guess. But if there was incentive not to do that, maybe like another gate up on the ridge or something, then I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I could put another gate up there. But I don't know. I've found that that's really hard to hit this gate.
Yeah.
Like coming across this with a ton of speed. So if you like go, if you want to cut the corner, I think that's totally okay. Because you have to cut through this blind, you know, like I feel like that's player skill. Like
It's hard. You have to know where it is for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually okay with that. I like the ramp because it's a very clear tell. That's the direction you need to go in, like follow the ramp. But yeah, I feel you. And then, okay, so now we're cruising down this. This gate
Yeah,
is
guys, you can
also
see
hard
for
to
these
hit.
gates too that you just lay down a spline, and then wherever you want a gate to be, you could just put a spline point, and the spline points themselves have kind of their own individual transforms, so you can position them as needed.
And this is about at the speed you're kind of doing when you're playing Hyperskate and you have like the throttle fully cranked. Turning is a little harder, so these like getting to the left to make sure you do that is somewhat challenging. So the spacing of each of these gates is intentional, so that you have to slow down a little bit in order to not miss them. And then this one's blind, so you come up this ridge, you catch some air. If you fuck that up, you're going too fast. You'll miss that gate. You got to turn around. So then going in this direction, now it's wide open on purpose so that you can kind of carve wherever you want, but you don't know where the next gate is. The spline is not visible when you're playing either. And then boom, you hit that gate. Same thing. Now you got a nice view of where like the next gates are below you. Hit this one. Hit this one. And I think the time that we did this in, like most people around 5 to 6 minutes, and I think Tony got it under 5.
Yeah, like high 4 minute is maybe like my record, something like that.
Hit the kicker. And the snake run isn't here. I'll rebuild that. I could do that next week on stream or something, unless we've got something else planned. But otherwise, like I'm totally fine. Working on it off stream and then showing you guys like what I built. Come out of the snake run over here. Hit this part, and then you get into a nice, like really tight riverbed slalom section here. So no ramps really required, but very tight curves at high speed. So now you have to like slow down to cut that way, slow down to cut that way. You can hit this one. This one, you just slow down just a smidge. Now you can rip through these. Slow down here, speed up again. We've been talking about some carving mechanics that make it a little easier to maintain speed and change your vector. So that might be the solve. I don't really want to like change the gates around or anything yet. And then just cruise through all of these. We're almost to the end. And you end right here at this nice little lake. We did it. Cool. And so that's the long slalom run that I built. Sweet. I'm gonna save again. Make sure this gets checked in so we've got those ramps all saved up. Do we have anything else you want to talk about, Tony?
I don't think so. Like we've talked about previously, this month we're gonna be talking about Hyperskate on the dev streams each week. So if you guys are interested in kind of seeing the process of us making this real video game that is listed on Steam and should hopefully ship for sale someday in the near future, then please come through. And we also are, doing beta tests of Hyperskate. We tend to do one most Fridays, and we haven't been doing it for a while, but I know we want to get back into it. So if you guys have a VR headset and you're in the community and join the Discord, then that's definitely something that we can talk about. So yeah, other than that, I don't think I have too much else. Appreciate you guys. Tomorrow I want to game stream. I don't know if we've actually decided what we're going to do yet, but we've been talking about some different ideas. So
I wanted to address what Brightside was asking. Yes, I do have a way to test in VR. It's just not stream friendly. It's like the way the process works is it changes display modes and a bunch of other shit. So yes, it is very easy to hop in and iterate that way. It just doesn't show well at all on stream. It's complicated.
And we've talked about it in the past too. I'm sure we showed it a little bit, and we definitely will talk about it more in the future. But we've built camera tools and other selfie sticks and stuff like that in the game that allow you to kind of film and create content in better ways that are a lot more friendly than looking through somebody's VR headset. But what Vince is doing right now would kind of just require that he put the headset on, hit play, test for a few seconds, take it back off, look back at his computer screen, and that's pretty hard to show on stream in a way that doesn't suck. So we're still trying to figure it out, but that's the whole reason that we've kind of been working on those tools, is so we can show you the game that we're making in better ways. That's the whole point.
Bright side, for what it's worth, the workflow is very, very simple. It's not that bad. Like, I can literally do this, and then I go up here and I go like, okay, so I already have it to headset, plain headset, but you change these modes here, and that's it. You have it not do plain editor. You do VR preview, and when the headset is connected and Unreal sees it and all that, and you have like all the stuff set up already, it literally just works.
And just as an example, if you want to show them, if you open the content drawer and you hit the plus in the top left corner, like add content or something like that. What is this button? It is hit add, and then if you go to feature or content pack in that menu that comes up, you're probably not sharing the window so they can see it, but you can effectively add the VR starter kit to any project just by doing what I just explained, and then hit that button that Vince talked about, and play your own game in VR in maybe 30 seconds.
Yep.
And that applies to the City Sample and Electric Dreams and all of the Epic Games provided content and stuff like that. A lot of them don't run super well, don't get me wrong, but the barrier to entry once you have a headset is super low, and the headsets are not complicated to get set up and hooked up into everything on your computer that you need either. So, and we are here too. So if you guys ever get a headset, hit us up. We're happy to help you. I will talk your ear off about all of the amazing VR games that you'll get to play now, and I obviously can walk you through anything that is required to get it going in Unreal. Quest 3S just came out. I want to say it's $299 or maybe $199. I can't remember, but everybody says it's awesome. I haven't personally tried it yet, but for an entry-level option, that should be great.
Yeah, and I think, like Tony said, if anyone is like, how do I do this thing? Ask in Discord. We will tell you. We will try to figure it out if we don't know how to do it, but we 100%. Will absolutely help you. Like, that's the point of these streams, is if you guys are like, I want to know how you did what you're doing, but I missed the stream, and you can't ask in chat, or you don't feel comfortable, always ask in Discord. We're more than happy to tell you guys, how we did things and give you advice. And
I will not ever be bothered by you guys hitting us up, especially for that purpose. If you just want to talk about something, I may or may not be responsive, but if you have an Unreal question, I'll try to help you for sure. So, alrighty, well, I think we'll get it wrapped up here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for something.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't even know what. I think, without making any promises, Tony was talking about wanting to get into Half-Life.
Yep.
So Half-Life in VR.
Playing Half-Life and playing through all of Half-Life, and I would try to do it somewhat efficiently, but also I want to see if it's possible to play through the whole thing in VR, because it's available. So I kind of want to try it out. So that may or may not be the plan tomorrow. If not, we'll fall back on something else. So we got a lot of options.
Hell yeah. Thanks everyone for coming through. You guys are awesome as always. Really appreciate it.
Some enthusiasm for Half-Life, so that's cool to see.
Yeah. Really appreciate you guys as always. And we'll see you tomorrow. Cool. Oh, Tony, you just broke your cam.
No, I was going back to face cam. Sorry, it's not
okay.
Ready to go.
Say bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.